Regardless, let's just go ahead. We're going to do this murder mystery, which couldn't be any further away. Um, and it is the most hated man in London, so I don't think anyone's going to be crying over the fact that this guy's dead if he's really the most hated man in the entire city. But yeah, I know, sorry about that. I mean, well, really, you guys didn't miss anything. I didn't take too much any time away from you on that. But my bonus went down, which is fun. I don't even know what bonuses, uh, how many I even have. So that's kind of interesting, I guess. Okay. Then after this, I don't think there's that many left. I think there's like maybe 4 left. Actually, I looked. There's 10, I believe. If you go to the sequence, I think there's only 10 of them anyway. Halfway through the total conquest activities. Crawford Steric. Well, we can't just jump to him. But yeah, if we go to progress tracker, it's under London Stories, the dreadful crimes. See, there's Next Stop Murder was number 9, the most hated man in London, and conjuring up a killing, and then this last one, which is locked, and that'll be it. I also like how no one ever notices when someone just loudly thumps into one of those things. A wagon full of that shit just creaks out in pain and no one just notices at all. Well, these are my guys, right? I can start taking over this district now, actually. I believe I'm high enough level, right? What level am I? Yeah, I'm definitely level 6. So I could start, but let me do this murder mystery first, and then I will. Okay. Switch back to Eevee. Get some rest, Jacob. Deuce, which of all the potential murderers actually killed Ashton? Oh wow, Layton's actually going to appear in this mission. For once.
Think of that. Crushed by a crate. The most hated man in London.
Can you imagine achieving such a title? One day my brilliance will bring me
That's not a good thing.
Mr. Raymond, what are you talking about?
It's of no consequence. What's important is that this man was hated by many. But who delivered the fatal blow?
Okay. That was a pretty weird conversation, but regardless, we're gonna go to the street. Oh, they know me by name. Okay. Yep. Looks like he was crushed by a crate, alright. Close inspection reveals other anomalies. A puncture wound to the gut, a bullet wound in the back, and the victim's skin has an odd green pallor along with yellowing around the eyes. Inspection of the bullet wound indicates that such wound would cause death in 12 minutes. Oops, I do not want to draw weapons around the police. Okay, so here's basically everything. Here's his listed activities. Pharmacy, hit up the pub, I guess go to buy apples, and then household accountant. Stopped at 1:17 precisely. What the hell? What's that line? Just showing where the watch is? So at 1:17 that watch fell off his body. Which means that for him to have been shot, he would have been shot at the pub. What is this? The path he took before he died. Which will lead me to all the different places. So we already know he would have had to have been shot at the pub. What's the final clue? Oh, okay, no, not there. Am I not vibrating? Oh, what, the crate? It wouldn't be the crate, would it? Because I can't really target it at all. There you go, that's silly. So the crate fell from over here.
I know the man. He's hated by everyone. Surprisingly, it's not clear what killed him. I find multiple wounds. No need to send many people to jail for killing such a terrible man. What say you only arrest a single person?
Yeah, that's the idea.
He appears to have been stabbed with a perforating weapon, perhaps a spike of some kind. They would be bleeding and it would affect motor control right away, but death wouldn't come for another 6
So the stab wound would have taken 6 minutes. The bullet wound would have taken 12.
There is at least one deadly toxin in his system.
Okay, cool. Construction site. Huge coal-powered crane. The driving mechanism is complex and requires an expert operator, so not anyone could just do this.
Now that I've seen this, I should
Are you an expert at your job? What else? Please contribute to the benefit fund for the man who had his arm crushed.
I should return and find out about this.
Alright, let's talk to Eddie.
A man's a right bastard. I hope he's smouldering in hell. I'm not a crane operator.
Okay, so yeah.
My best chum is maimed for life, and Ashton didn't care a thing. He deserved what happened. Beyond that, I'm mum.
Can't just accuse anyone. Don't have enough info.
He owned this site and paid us. We all hated him because he looked for any excuse to cheat us out of our wages. I didn't hate him any more or less than my mates. That's around the time I'm given a few minutes to eat something. About then I would have been buying myself an apple at the stand down the street. It's difficult to work properly. You'd have to know what you're doing to drop it at just the right moment. Eddie? Yeah.
Oh, Eddie's
A
lying.
few days ago.
This guy's Eddie, yep.
I'm not a crane operator. I wouldn't know.
Honestly, I think it's him. Usually it doesn't get too intricate, you know. This isn't like Phoenix Wright where people fucking say one thing, then they demonstrably prove themselves wrong, and then, but wait a minute, that's not actually what happened. I really hate when Phoenix Wright does that. I mean, then again, I guess the game wouldn't be very fun if all you had to do was prove that these people are idiots. There's a single bite taken out of it. The inside of the apple is oddly pink. Stumbles, push, argues with wife.
He's my husband.
Each day I bring him the household expenses just after he eats his apple. I also brought him his invitation to the knighthood ceremony. The one with the special scepter. Of course he wasn't going to
Aw,
take
dick.
it. I often tie up my hair around a knitting needle, but business is a
I have no
divorce.
clue. That's probably what he was stabbed with then. So we're basically establishing a timeline here. We have the apple seller.
He stopped by here every day at the exact same time. He'd buy an apple and try to cheat me out of tuppence. But then most folks do that. Yeah, that sounds right. Came by for an apple. He was here when we...
Alright, so Frank is innocent, but that guy Eddie is not. Alright, so let's retrace his steps backward. So, I mean, Eddie lied to me, but I mean, that's not enough, obviously, to accuse him of murder. That would be a very sharp thing to judge. Wait, why is this still lit up? I have all the clues here. That's odd. Still lit up, anyway. I don't know, there's nothing else there, but anyway, here's where he would have been. He spent 2 minutes at the pub. Includes an interesting article. Henrik's refinery brought to a halt. John Aston is behind the sabotage of his competitor. Well, here's Mr. Henrik's. So, of course, he would be upset about that, but again, not enough evidence. A gun. One chamber is empty. So, this is probably the bullet. Whoops.
Ashton stops in front of this pub every afternoon to check on business rumours. Something of a bastard, Ashton. Told me he had a bit of jam on the side, if you know what I mean.
Oh.
Well, the bit of jam wants out, but he won't let her. That's the sort of fellow we're speaking of. That was Ashton's doing. The man had it in for me. He paid workers to wreck my machines. Cost me a fortune. As long as he was around, I'd never cross.
Well, do you realize how damning what you said it really is?
As a matter of fact, I do carry a revolver at all times. It can be a dangerous neighborhood for a wealthy fella such as myself.
Yeah, but the chamber is empty, dude. But I mean, if he was shot in the back, why would he go down the street and act like nothing happened? This was a man ready to die, to be truthful. I get that feeling. He didn't care. This one's pretty crazy, though. 5 different ways he could have died. We know he was poisoned. We know he was stabbed. We know he was shot. And we know that someone crushed him with a crate. Medicine box. He must have dropped it along the way. Takes pills, discards box with an empty medicine bottle. Here's the pharmacy. So this is where his day starts. So this is the beginning of the timeline. Warning, contains chemicals labeled warning not to be ingested. Chemical 1 is bluish in color, as this is causing erratic movement after 10 minutes and death after an additional 16. Anesthetic effect. Oh. Pinkish in color is listed as causing erratic movement after 2 minutes and death after 9. So both of these were used. So he probably didn't feel any of the pain because he had anesthesia in his system. Okay, I got to do the fucking mental math to figure out the timeline here in my head because I'm not following it too quickly right about now. I make sure there's nothing else here. Alright, so it has to be inside. What is it? Here we go. My dear brother, I recently made a most upsetting discovery. The man who forced the foreclosure of the family farm was none other than John Aston, your very client. You and I must both contribute. You must cease to do business, so there's a motive here. There was a motive for him to want to kill him too, but only foreclosure? I mean, I don't know.
I see him here every day. He can be unpleasant, but I don't really know him.
Okay, that's it for her.
He's been coming to me for years. He arrives precisely at 1 o'clock and leaves 2 minutes later. He takes a bluish medication every day and prefers that I administer it.
Which would give you perfect opportunity to poison him.
Mary is a trusted assistant. As far as I know, she's completely above board. Today, she swept the shop and prepared some medications. She also fetched herself an apple. from the
Okay.
stand. This really is none of your business. He came to me for his blue medication. I gave him blue medication.
Alright. So. It says I'm missing something at the apple stand. They might have opened up now that I talked about Mary wanting to, Oh no, it says there's something here. Hold on. Probably have to talk to her about the apple. This is so weird. Oh, he's also a shop, by the way. This is so weird because, like, this shit isn't graying out like everything else. So it's really perplexing the hell out of me. But now we have 5 different ways that this guy could have died. Here we go. Something new here.
Girl who works at the pharmacy? Yeah, she slipped me an extra twopence. She had a special apple just for Mr. Ashton. I gave him that one.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Ashton did look strange like. Eyes all yellowish. And then he turned pale after he bit into the apple. Almost green, really.
Well, I think we already know. Let's go back to her. We have to question her about this. This one's going to be hard because, I mean, what? We're looking for the person who dealt the killing blow, right? So it's the person that would have set him down the killing path, or the death path first, if I'm not mistaken. And everyone here is kind of telling half-truths and lies.
Quite right. I asked the apple seller to give him a special apple. Is that a crime? He was a horrid man. That's all I have to say.
Okay. What now? Back to the apple stand again? We have to assemble this timeline because I'm going to be so like... So is it when they administered the poison to him or when he actually would have died from it? I guess is what we're trying to figure out.
Very well. I found out about his dalliance with that girl from the pharmacy. It's not the first. Divorce is all but impossible given his influence with the clergy.
Okay, so she was... Yeah, I have everything now. Okay, so she was the one who probably would have said, okay, this guy is being fucking horrible to me. I want to divorce him, but I can't. So, this one's going to be ridiculous, isn't it? Okay. So what we do know is that he was shot. He didn't feel it for 12 minutes. Where's the timeline? So he died at 1:17 precisely. He first started at 1. So we have a 17-minute timeline in which 4 or 5 different people all tried to kill him. So at 1 he walked into the pharmacy, and I think he left at what, like 1:02? So at the pharmacy... Okay, so at the pharmacy, the guy gave him chemical 1, which was also blue, unlike his normal one, causes erratic movement after 10 minutes and death after 16. So it can't be chemical 1, because if he left at what was it? Hold on. If he left the pharmacy at 102, he would have died at 118, so that would automatically rule that out. By the way, all these people should be taken up on attempted murder. Alright, let me see. Yeah, 102 he left the pharmacy, so it can't be the chemical that guy administered to him. Where was it? Yeah, this is his motive. But see, after 16 minutes... No, wait, hold on. After 10 minutes, you start to move erratically. So that would have been at 112. And then an additional 16 minutes. So it definitely can't be chemical 1. No way in hell. Chemical 2, which is what was inside the apple, which was left for him, he didn't even bite into that apple. Where was it? The apple. I mean, what was it? His agenda. He didn't even get to the apple stand until 109. So after 2 minutes would have been 111. And then after that would have been 112, or 120, excuse me, 112. I'm fucking losing my mind this early in the morning. But, so it can't be anyone at the pharmacy then, because it would have been 118 and 120, at which point he would have died. And then after death, he got all those symptoms to make it seem like he had died from that. So it can't be anyone at the pharmacy. He dropped this probably because he probably took that medicine. He probably took 1 or 2, and he probably was like crazy. You know, he didn't have erratic movement, but he probably felt weird, you know. So the revolver, this guy shot him at the pub, by the way, no doubt about it. When did he get to the pub? That bullet wound would have caused death in 12 minutes. So when did he get to the pub? Or was it when he left the pub? Well, I don't know. He got to the pub at 105, and then he left at 107. So, assuming that worst case scenario, he got shot as he entered. What did it say? 12 minutes? And that would make the bullet wound suspicious. But we don't really know when the exact time he shot him was. He might have shot him as he was leaving, you know, since apparently did enter in his back? Yeah, bullet wound in the back, so he was probably shot while leaving. But he was under the anesthesia, so he probably didn't even feel it, poor guy. So then that would probably mean that he was shot at 107. Then I'm just going to assume that, you know, I'm keeping it simple. Which means that he wouldn't have died again until 119. So he would have died at 118, 119, and 120. What else is there? The crane didn't crush him until 117, but what we're trying to figure out is what killed him earlier than that. Single bite taken out of it. Yeah, we already established that would be 120, so that can't work out. So, I mean, was he just truly straight up crushed? He has a puncture wound to the gut. They never really talked about that, though. There's no evidence, really. I don't know where he got the puncture wound from. I believe the apple seller is completely innocent, by the way. His complexion was yellowish at the time of him encountering the apple person. So that means that the pharmacy... Yeah, after biting into the apple, he turned green. So he was already fucked up by that. But that doesn't matter. I read that he brought an apple about the... well, yeah, Frank is innocent. We know that. The question is it Eddie? Is it the wife? Or is it the guy who shot him in the back? But I think it's either Eddie or the wife. Dr. Chester is innocent. He was the bystander. At least one deadly toxin was in his system. We already know that, but it can't be either of them. Wouldn't be unjust to punish them for trying to kill him. Everyone's pleased that he's dead. In this case, that doesn't mean anything. He knows how to work the crane, which is a lie. Ashton owned the work site and paid the workers. They all hated him. 117, he was at the Apple stand. That's true. Crane's difficult to operate. Only someone trained could drop the crate. Where does he say that he trained, what's his face? They didn't add that here. Why would she want to kill him, though? They were seeing each other. They were having an affair. Why would she want to kill him? That makes no sense to me. Did I miss that? Ashton stops in front of the pub every afternoon. Brings her husband household expenses on this spot daily after he eats his apple. She often wears a knitting needle in her hair. So, I mean, she could have stabbed him with the knitting needle, but the knitting needle isn't evidence. Probably because it's in her hair, but then wouldn't... Oh, fuck. See, now we need to look at the needle. Ashton had been coming to the pharmacy for years. So what the important thing is, so what, he got shot, right? It would have taken him 12 minutes. He would have been dead at 119. So it can't be the guy with the gun. The question is, do we have anything to say about the needle? A wound like that from the needle, how long would it have taken to kill him? That's the question. I don't know. I don't remember if there was evidence about the needle. Because, I mean, then it's got to be Eddie or the wife, but I don't know. Obviously, she had to have stabbed him. Come on, where else would we get the needle from? But I don't know where it says if how long it would have taken for him to die from a puncture wound from a needle like that. That's this guy's motive, by the way. That his friend had his arm crushed and everything. Shit, I don't know. Let me re-talk with people. Because I need to figure out how long such a blow would have taken to kill him. Without knowing that, I can't really make the safe judgment between the crate and between her.
Very well. I often tie up my hair around a knitting needle. What business is it of yours? He's my husband.
Shit. I'm never gonna find out. Oh, here we go. 110, he argues with wife. Hair held by a knitting needle. Okay, follow the timeline would be the best bet. So he took the apple. She sells apples. That's 119. Or, well, it would have taken 11 minutes for him to die from that. He argues with wife, and he stumbles almost as if he... Wait, what's this? Oh, it's the apple. Okay. He stumbles as if he was pushed. So my question is, that's when she probably stabbed him. Took a bite, discarded the apple. Nothing to say about there. $114. And then he was crushed. So basically, there's almost no way of knowing. We already know that the bullet wouldn't have killed him. I'm tempted to say the wife, because she kind of denies everything. At least Eddie was flat up honest that he hated him. But and her evidence, she intentionally kept that evidence from us. Can't even see the hair. Can't even see the knitting needle in it.
What in the blazes was that for?
I don't know. How long would such a wound have taken to kill him? Do these guys give any hints at all? Let me see. They act like they don't even know who you are. Well, essentially what I think you have to do is you have to take a guess. There's nothing else really I think you can do, because you don't know when she stabbed him, or you know when she stabbed him. It would have been right here. Would it have, though? Because look, the footsteps faces her and turns, walks, stumbles a little bit. Even if he was shot at this point, the bullet wouldn't have been what killed him. Because it's not like, because he was stabbed in the gut. Unless he was stabbed from behind. But that doesn't make sense. You don't stab someone in the gut from behind. You stab them when they're facing you. So she probably stabbed him right here. But the question is, how long would it have taken him to die from that? Eats the apple, throws the apple away. Does the good doctor say anything about it?
He appears to have been stabbed with a perforating weapon, perhaps a spike of some kind. There would be bleeding, and it would affect motor control right away, but death wouldn't...
Yes, there you go. That is the most important piece of testimony in this entire fucking case, and it's not in the journal at all, which is kind of silly, but 6 minutes. So if he was stabbed at 111, this doesn't help. If he was stabbed at 111, then he wouldn't have died until 117 anyway. Unless he was stabbed when he turned to face her, in which case it would have happened at 116, which would make her the killer. I don't know, maybe that's why they didn't put it in. I have to talk to these guys again. So even the journal it's only helpful for broad refreshing. You're better off just talking to the people again anyway.
That's around the time I'm given a few minutes.
I'm talking to the wrong person.
Might be his chum is made for life.
Oops.
I'm not a crane operator. The man's a right bastard. I hope he's smouldering in hell.
Well, I mean, when I think about it like this, there's nothing to say that this guy dropped the crane on him at exactly 117. There's no proof that the watch itself there's nothing to say that this watch was caused from him getting crushed. The only thing that we know for certain is at 117 he would have been dead by the puncture wound. We don't know when this crane was dropped, although presumably it was dropped within the next minute or so. Right? This is kind of ambiguous.
That's around the time I'm given a few minutes to eat something. About then I would have been buying myself an apple. apple at the stand down the street.
So he would be at the Apple store. The Apple store, oh my god. I don't want to fucking attack these police by accident. I just want to slip by them real quick. Okay. So was everything peaceful at 117 is the bigger question of the two.
Yeah, that sounds right. Came by for an apple. He was there when we heard the crate hit the ground.
That doesn't really help. He at least we know he didn't see him getting stabbed.
Mr. Ashton did look strange like. Girl who works at the pharmacy.
No, she's innocent for certain. So there's only, again, it's the same two people. All I can say for sure is that by 117 he would have been dead on the spot precisely. And even with his training, Eddie isn't that great with the crane, I believe. What was the guy's name? Frank? Yeah, 117 he was at the Apple stand. Only someone trained can drop a crate at precisely the right moment. So I don't think it was Eddie, because Eddie was just recently trained. He wasn't really an expert at it. But then they say that he was trained, but then he kind of wasn't trained. I'm going to go with the wife, because we know that he would have died precisely at that time, according to what the doctor said. But Eddie isn't well trained, but it could probably be Eddie. I'm going to go with the wife, because she kind of hides things too. Eddie doesn't really hide anything, I don't think. No, don't get me wrong, they're all fucking guilty, but I think I'm going to accuse her. And I hope I'm right, because I'm going out on a limb here and I'm guessing, because I have no clue at all, because it could have been literally the same thing. It could be down to the seconds, who knows? And who would really even care at this time anyway?
I'll be the toast of the town.
That doesn't seem right.
A very unpleasant fellow. But what was that business?
Oh, I guess I was right.
In any case, Mr. Raymond will have a story for Poloff Publishing.
Was that right? The most hated man in London, or more than one way to skin a cat. Okay, this little kid is like flipping out. He was murdered not once but 5 times. So hated was he that his business rival, his employee, his wife, his mistress, and his pharmacist all made attempts on his life. So they never really explained who. I guess it was the wife. Okay. They left it as ambiguous as possible here. That ambiguity is fucking horrible. I'm sorry. That is the worst. They left it as ambiguous as possible. Spindles and looms. The only other one is out here at Westminster. Goodfellows Brewery at level 9.